Happy Wednesday, everyone. Hope everyone's well. So today we're going to do a bit of a Psalms walk. So I know we did it a few weeks ago where we went on a Psalms walk. Today we're going to do it again, but with a different Psalms, different verses. So if you don't have the opportunity to go outside and go for a walk, that's fine. Do it around your house, or if you if you don't go for a walk, do it in your front garden if you have one. It's entirely up to you how you do it, but there's a lot of thought I would like you to do while you're doing this Psalms walk. So we are looking at Psalms 2 this week or today. And it says, "You are my son, today I have become your father." Now, I live by that. I think I call God my daddy. I have a relationship with him like my father and daughter. It's really important to know that God loves us like a father. So, before you go off and do your Psalms walk, pray to God and ask God to speak to you through his creation. Don't just walk past it and be like, oh yeah, that's okay. Really take in God's creation and the things around you. Take the time to wonder and really absorb the beauty of the creation. So the world is a very messy place at the moment, with loads of different things happening, not nice things that you might have heard about. The COVID-19, we're living with it, but it's not a very nice pandemic that we're having to go through. Loads of people have been poorly. There's been loads of war and not very nice things going on in the world. And in the Psalms, it talks about the war between different nations, but God being above all, being above everything earthly. So I really want you to take in the beauty of the world, the beauty of the natural world, and pray to God while you're doing it. So before you set off and before you read the different verses, pray to God to ask him to speak to you through his creation. So in verse 1, why are all the nations so angry? Why are the people making useless plans? So find a quiet spot to rest or sit on and shelter under, and breathe deeply and just be still. Just be still and bring your heart before God. It's really important because our lives are so busy and everyone's so busy around us. It's really important to have just that where we all just stop and we take a moment and be still. Be still in the presence of God. It's really important to do that. And just don't say anything. Don't expect to hear, and you might hear things. God might speak to you in this moment, but just be still and ask God to give you peace in this restless world. So especially during this time where we can't go to school, a lot of people aren't working still, can't go to church yet. Ask him to give you peace. So ask him to give you peace during this difficult time. And give your worries and fears to him. It's really important to do that because God deals with us all. He hears us. He's there to take all our worries and our fears away. So it's really important that you do that. And just hand them over to God. Hand over your worries to him. And then in verse 2 it says, "But happy are those who trust him for protection." So I've had a bit of a example with a few weeks ago. I had to move out my old house and I was really scared, really worried, really what was I going to do? Where was I going to go? It was very short notice. I have a little cat. She had to come with me. So it was really stressful. But during that rushful time and the busyness, I handed it over to God. And within a week, I had found a new place that was perfect for me. That was my little cat was allowed to come with me. And yeah, just because I handed it to God and he worked through it and I trusted him, and it's beautiful and I'm really happy that he did it. And within a week I was out of my old place and into my new place and already settled in. So that is just proof that when we fear and when we're scared and when we're worried, hand it over to God. He's going to work it. He's going to do it for us. So in verse 9 it says, "You will break them into pieces like pottery." So can you try and find any pieces of broken pottery or brickwork on your walk? Brickwork on your walk. Right, now please do not pick up broken glass and hurt yourself and cut yourself. If you find it, just look at it. Don't pick it up and try and hold it if it's broken and it's sharp, because I really don't want you to be getting cut. I want you to think about the verse that you've just read, that you will break them into pieces of pottery, and try and find along your walk a piece of pottery or broken piece of brickwork or broken rock even. But just be careful. Don't pick it up to hurt yourself. Okay, and in verse 8, it says, you will rule over them with an iron rod. And it says, find a twig or stick and pick it up. Not a huge, little twig or stick. And bring to God in prayer any issues of the global injustice you are aware of. So, like I said before in the beginning of this video, that there is loads of injustice going around in the world at the moment. Really sad times, really hard times. There's wars in certain countries. It's not very nice in certain countries. So think about, when you pick up the stick, think about a country that might be going through a difficult time at the moment. That's not very fair on them, that they shouldn't be going through. If whatever's putting them through that, if they handed it over to God, he would work miracles in the country. So think about that country, or even a place. Doesn't necessarily need to be a country, a whole country. It can just be an area or a place. And then snap the stick in half and ask God to break the chains of injustice on that country or the nation or that place that you're thinking about. So when you snap it, you pray to God and ask him to just stop all that injustice and work in that place that you're praying for. And then in verse 11, it says, obey the Lord with great fear. Be happy, but tremble. So you are meant to be happy and you are meant to trust him and obey him. But you need to be careful you don't get too overconfident in what you do. So as you walk, consider the vastness. So consider the wide variety of the creation. And remember that vastness of God's worship. So what that means is, when you go out, think about the different varieties of and the big greatness of this creation, of God's creation. And think about, while you're walking, just take it all in, absorb God's greatness, and think about that of his worship as well, how we can worship God and show him how we appreciate and love him. And that might be through prayer. What you're doing now is showing him through worship. It doesn't necessarily mean singing and songs, but that's a good way to get our message across, using words and songs. So think about all that. But just take in the amazing creation that God has made, and hand all our fears and all our worries over to God, and pray for any injustice in the world that might be bugging you, that shouldn't be happening, and just consider other people at this time. I hope you have a lovely walk, and if you didn't get everything that you need to do in with the task, don't worry, at the end of the video there will be a little picture for you to pause the video at and have a look at what you have to do and what verses you have to read. I hope you have fun doing it, and I'll see you soon. Bye.